There was a time when every second of Maria's life felt like it was wrapped in heavy chains of stress. She was a single mother living in a small, worn-down apartment on the edge of a loud, crowded neighborhood. Every morning, she woke up before the sun, not because she was full of energy, but because her mind refused to let her rest. Rent was due in 4 days. Her daughter needed new shoes, and the fridge, half empty, again. Maria worked 2 part-time jobs, both barely paying enough to cover basic needs. On her lunch breaks, she'd sit outside the back of the cafe where she worked, chewing slowly on a sandwich she had split in half. 1 piece for now, 1 piece for dinner. Her fingers would nervously tap the phone screen, checking her bank balance like it might magically grow. It never did. She wasn't just stressed, she was drowning in it. Every conversation with her daughter felt rushed. Every smile she gave was forced. She couldn't remember the last time she actually tasted food, or really looked at the sky, or laughed freely. The weight of poverty wasn't just in her bank account. It had seeped into her thoughts, her sleep, her breath. One night, after her daughter had fallen asleep, Maria sat at the kitchen table, staring at a stack of unpaid bills. Her chest tightened. Her thoughts raced. What if we get evicted? What if I lose my job? What if I fail her? She covered her face with her hands, heart pounding like a drum in the silence. It felt like her life was stuck in survival mode. But that night, something shifted. She noticed her daughter had left a drawing on the table, crayon scribbles of the 2 of them holding hands, smiling, under a rainbow. Above them, in crooked handwriting, were the words, "Me and Mom, happy." Maria stared at that drawing for a long time. Her daughter wasn't thinking about rent or shoes. She was thinking about love, togetherness, moments. And in that moment, Maria realized something profound. She was alive, breathing, and loved. That mattered more than anything money could buy. She took a deep breath. Not the kind you take when you're racing to catch a train, but a slow, full breath that filled her lungs and cleared her mind. For the first time in months, she paused, really paused. And in that pause, she felt a moment of peace. Living in poverty didn't mean she had to live in stress every moment. There was still beauty in the now. Her daughter's laugh, the warmth of morning sunlight through the window, the smell of coffee, the sound of the city waking up. Maria didn't suddenly become rich the next day. She still worked hard. The bills didn't vanish. But she changed how she lived with those problems. Instead of letting stress consume her, she started focusing on what she could control, one moment at a time. When she walked her daughter to school, she looked her in the eyes and listened to her stories. When she cooked rice and beans for dinner, she took a second to smell the spices and appreciate the food. She started to notice the way her daughter danced around the living room, how the breeze felt on her skin, how music could lift her mood, even if just for a few minutes. It wasn't about pretending things weren't hard. It was about not letting hard things steal the moments that were still beautiful. Psychologists call this practice mindfulness. It's the act of bringing your attention to the present moment without judgment. Research from Harvard University shows that people who spend more time in the present moment are generally happier, regardless of their circumstances. In fact, a study by Killingsworth and Gilbert, 2010, found that a wandering mind is an unhappy mind. No matter how hard the situation, being mentally present improves emotional well-being. Maria started applying that every day. She'd whisper to herself, "Be here, right now." When she walked past a flower blooming through a crack in the sidewalk, she smiled. When her daughter hugged her, she closed her eyes and held her tighter. She was no longer living for the weekend or the next paycheck. She was learning to live in the moment. The stress didn't vanish, but its grip loosened. As the philosopher Eckhart Tolle once said, "Realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. Make the now the primary focus of your life." Maria wrote those words on a sticky note and taped it to her mirror. Every morning, she read it aloud before stepping into the chaos of the day. Some days were still really hard. There were tears. There were days when money was painfully tight. But she wasn't as afraid. She found peace not by changing her life, but by changing how she lived within it. And slowly, her energy changed. Her daughter felt it. Her co-workers noticed it. She even started getting better tips at the cafe. It was like people were drawn to the calm she carried. Maria became proof that even in poverty, even when life feels unfair, you can find moments of joy, presence, and peace. She didn't wait for a perfect life to start living. She chose to live in the moment, exactly as it was. And so can you. If you're overwhelmed, drowning in what ifs and what next, pause. Look around. Feel the breath in your lungs. Find one small thing that is okay right now, and let that ground you. You don't need to fix everything to feel better. Start with this moment. Let go of what you can't control. Let in the tiny things you can. You have the power to change your experience, not by escaping your life, but by being fully present in it. You are stronger than you think. You are already surviving more than most can imagine. And in every heartbeat, you have a chance to come back to now. So stand tall, breathe deep, and live in the moment, because this one, right here, is yours.